hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Thank you all for being patient with us. We had a little technical difficulty, but the program's still going to go on. And we have a little twist in here. I want to show y'all in a few minutes that one of our junior MGT sisters here. So right now, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through this weather, and Allah brought you all here safely. And we have a program for you that will be very inspiring and very enlightening. So without any further ado, before I go any further, Sister Amla, she wants to present to you before that, Brother Rudolph, and we'll get back to you. But let's Sister
No problem.
come in, my son. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, family. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who can. And I further bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is the exalted Christ, and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is that divine guidance, reminder, warner, grace, and Messiah in our midst today. I greet you all again in the greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
salam.
Okay.
man.
Thank you all for being here this evening, to the believers that are here at Mosque number 12 and to all of the believers that are on the Zoom. We thank you for coming to this disaster preparedness workshop. Our objective today is to bring awareness to natural and man-made disasters that your community may be most vulnerable to, and to give a general and some specific advice on how to respond and be prepared for those disasters when they come. For instance, today and over the week, we had experienced hard weather with like the snowstorm that was coming in. And I thank all of the believers for getting here, and taking their time out to still come. We give thanks to Almighty God Allah for watching over us. But
That's right.
that's the first part that we need to, work on and always have our foundation in, is giving thanks to Allah, because He is the one that watches over us as we endure any disasters that we face in our life. So I would say thank you all, and we're going to bring back Brother Jihad to hear all of the knowledge and skills from all of the believers that are here, present, and on the Zoom. So thank you all. Brother Jihad, would you come back on?
Let's give her a well-round hand of applause. Thank you. That's one of our MGT sisters. I was saying to her that when we decided to, in the Quran, Allah says, make room in your assembly. So I said, you go ahead, I'm staying out the way, you go ahead. Because our young, they have something to say. And our young, they have something to say. And pardon me, we got to make room in our assembly and allow them a room and an atmosphere where they can express themselves. So this is just the beginning of things that's going to be taking place ongoing. So we want you to know that we thank you all, and we thank the young sister for wanting to do it. And we're going to always be behind the young when they want to do something that's in
That's right.
with this mission. So I thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.
Go on, preacher.
So right now I'm going to take this to Brother Rudolph. You online?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, well, you're here, and we're going to turn it over to you. But before we do have Brother Kyle here who wants to present concerning the tourniquet thing, and we have something here on the front row that my wife has brought as a disaster preparedness thing. So there's a couple items here. Would you want to have these expressed in, and then you come on and take us further into the program?
Well, sure, we could do that if you like. If that's the way you want to do it, yes, sir. We could do that. Well, as far as Brother Kyle is with the tourniquet,
Yes.
we're going to do that after I do the survival kit list.
Okay.
Then we're going to do the tourniquet. But what your wife has presented or set up, yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have some things right here. You brought it.
Items in their basement already stored up. So I called my husband, see if he wanted some of these items to bring, but I have a couple of them with me now. So I have a fire puck. Brother Rudolph, you may have this. I'm not sure. And I'm not even sure how to use them. I just noticed that they had them. And so I just grabbed them up so that I can bring them so my husband would have them for him to demonstrate at his disaster preparedness. Fire puck and this, I don't have my glasses. Okay. And we have drinking, emergency drinking water. And some of these items last like a long time. I think some of them has a 20-year and 30-year and 5-year lifespan. We have the drinking water. I don't know what the contents are of this meal ready to eat individual packet, but it's I someone the brother up there or the young man up there had a case of them down in the basement. They were trying to, to sell for the estate sale. So I have that, and we're going to look it up later on and find out what the ingredients are. And what else did we have here? We have orange energy drink, emergency food storage up to 30-year shelf life. So I found these things very interesting, so I grabbed them up, what I could. And most impressive for me was these 100-year, no, 100-hour candles. So we had a couple of those. So I just grabbed these items up to bring to my husband so he could present them. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah.
Yeah, bless her heart.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, hon. So that was she was bringing that because she wanted to help, and bless her heart, and we needed all the help we can get. So we thank Allah for each and every one of y'all, and from your heartfelt expression of this event that we're having. And right now, Brother Rudolph, is Brother Harold online?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Harold's
I'm
here.
here.
Okay, and all right. As you heard from Brother Will, L.A., he online?
He's logging in as we speak. He was driving.
Okay. So
Remember, he's on the West Coast.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Another brother from L.A., he wanted to log in. He's on the disaster team as well. So, all right, Brother Will, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over to you now. And you can take us into where we need to go and information. So without any further ado, I say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, Brother Jahar?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Praise be to Allah. First of all, before we do anything, as Sister said, let's give Master Farad Muhammad some well-praised due Allahu Akbars and rounds of applause.
Yeah, praise be to Allah.
Because, the Quran says man plans and Allah is the best of planners. Sister said that y'all were having some, and Sister texted me and called me, and we spoke. She was telling me about the weather emergency that y'all were having over there, even up until a few hours ago. So, this disaster thing that we're talking about, that, I'm sorry. You know what? Let's roll this back. Beginning all things in the name of the true and living God. We thank Master Fard Muhammad for allowing us time and space in his creation called universe. We thank Allah for appearing in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We thank him for coming here to Black Bottoms, Detroit, and raising one from amongst our family here. We know him now to be the exalted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank both of them for not leaving us comfortless in this dispensation of time. They left us if you read through the scriptures of the Holy Bible, it talks about the Comforter. It talks about that Holy Spirit. It talks about that entity that has the ability to cover you, to change your mindset, to calm you when you're nervous. That entity that gives you the strength and the fortitude to go when everything else says stay. Well, that individual we know to be the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He is the best example that we have among us today of submission to the will of God. And in his discipline and submission, through that, we see the power of our God. Because there's nothing that that man says that does not happen. We call him affectionately the eyewitness news in advance.
Yes, sir.
Yes. He is not a prophet. Make no mistake about that. The days of prophecy and time of prophets are gone. He is a warner. He is a messenger. But he's so much more than just a messenger because he is the very embodiment of that God that we believe appeared to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. And we know that he is being backed by not just that God that appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, but he's being backed by the risen Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this is why when that man speaks, everybody listens, whether they like him or not. And don't get it twisted. Don't think that our open enemy doesn't study him the way we're taught to study him. Oh, they study him because they know who he is. This is why they respond the way they respond.
It's just that corner piece right there.
And so, mute yourself, Brother Johnny. Mute yourself. And so, in those three great names of Master Fard Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the honorable Minister Farrakhan, I greet you, the believers, the family of Muhammad, the well-wishers of Muhammad, the supporters of Muhammad, the friends of Muhammad, and even those detractors that are stealing a hearing at this time. We greet all of you in the great words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Alaikum salam, sir.
Now, I know that was a bit untraditional, but those of you that know Brother Rudolph know I'm a bit untraditional. So now, we're talking about disaster preparedness.
On my screen.
Disaster. A disaster is when the situation overwhelms your ability to deal with it. And that could be anything. Okay? Let me bring this home so you can understand exactly what I'm talking about. You in the house and you're cooking, trying to prepare dinner for your family. And you're using a recipe because you're trying something new. And it calls for 3 cups of rice. And oh, you've run out of rice upstairs. You only have 2 cups. Disaster has just reared its ugly head in your kitchen. Now, unless you have some more rice somewhere handy, you have just entered a disaster because your resources do not now allow you to deal with the reality at hand. Disasters, when we talk about them, we talk about man-made disasters, we talk about technological disasters, and we talk about natural disasters. And when we read The Fall of America, it stresses about those so-called natural disasters to which we have no ability to change nor to manage. We just have to deal with it. Well, in these forums that we're doing now, what we're trying to do is get information out to you, the individuals in society, that you may mitigate. What does mitigate mean? First of all, that word is a verb. So it means you have to be doing something. I don't know about y'all, but when I grew up, and Jihad and Brother Harold, you know, we had this thing on TV called Schoolhouse Rock, you know, and they had this one part that said, I get my thing in action, verb, to run, to walk, to lift, to fly. Yeah, verbs. Verbs are action words. Means you have to be doing something in order to be a verb. You can't just be sitting on your rusty dusty and be a verb. No, a verb has to be moving, either going to or from. So mitigation is the act of making a situation palatable for you to be in. It's preparing beforehand, before dot, 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 whatever that dot, dot, dot is. So when we talk about mitigating, we're talking about preparing in advance. It's just a corporate word that they've instituted so that when you hear them doing their press conferences, they try to sound all eloquent and, you know, like they're not like us, you know, like the song says, which they're not. But if you listen to any press conference, they'll use that word about 15 or 20 times during the press conference. Simply means to prepare beforehand. So that's what we're trying to get each other to understand. For disaster preparedness, we must mitigate certain circumstances. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, yes, that beautiful man, he taught us over 60 years ago. He presented a list of supplies to the members of the Nation of Islam and urged them to secure them, learn how to utilize them, and keep them on hand. Now, some people say, well, Brother Rudolph, that's an incomplete list. Look, it don't even have a lot of things on it. Where's this? Where's that? Where's the other? And to that, I will simply say this. Are you saying that the risen Christ, are you saying that that one that was raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular by Allah himself, who appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, made a mistake? Is that what you're implying? Because I would have to beg to differ and say not. I would say maybe because his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the time and what must be done is so far advanced beyond ours that he could see something that we cannot see yet. So in this list that he is giving us, he's giving us specific items that we should have on hand at all times. Now, we're not talking about a go bag now. We're talking about your emergency survival kit for your home. This is your shut-in kit. When you have to seclude yourself and those that live under your roof, when you have to turn inward and shut off the outside world and survive whatever is coming for a certain period of time with no interference from the outside world. This is what we're talking about. So whether it's a weather emergency that causes you not to be able to come out, whether it's another pandemic like COVID-19 that causes us to have to shut ourselves in and stay out of the public, whether it's civil disobedience that causes martial law to be implemented and the streets are not safe to be on them, so we have to stay in the home. Whatever the case may be, we have to stay in our dwellings for a protracted period of time. So what are the items that we need to have on hand that will help us survive what is about to come? So let's go through these items. I pray everyone has something to write with and something to write on, or if not, if you have gotten the email that you can, the PowerPoint, that you can follow along with the PowerPoint. The first item that we have is a simple thermometer. Okay, what do we need a thermometer for? We need something to be able to measure internal body temperature. The normal internal body temperature is about 98.6. Yeah, you can go 98.5, you can go 98.7, but in that range. What does that mean? That means that is the normal human body. That's the temperature on the inside of your body at any given time if you are in balance or equilibrium with all of your body systems. When that temperature rises above that, it causes the body to go into a condition that could be acidosis, meaning the body is getting very acidic, or it could be going the other way and the body can be becoming alkalinic. Either way, either extreme will cause certain things to manifest and they will begin to show signs, and the person will be able to relate symptoms. A symptom is something that the patient has to tell you. A sign is something that you should be able to see. Well, the patient is going to manifest certain signs and symptoms, and that will lead the wise and prudent person, lead them to a conclusion of a medical prognosis about what's going on with that individual. What do I mean by that? The person is coughing and they're coughing up some stuff. And that stuff is brownish and greenish and yellowish with maybe a tinge of red in it. And when you touch that person's forehead with the back of your hand, it almost burns the back of your hand because their skin is so hot. Well, by all medical training, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't no cow. That person may have pneumonia. And they're manifesting it with a high fever. And they're coughing up things that are coming up out of their lungs. Well, you want to know, how high is that body temperature? The only way to regulate it or to be able to calculate that body temperature is with a thermometer. Why do you want to know what that internal body temperature is? Because if it gets too high, what happens to the individual? Remember, our bodies, much like the planet, is 2/3 water and 1/3 land. So that means that our brain, sitting in our skull, is sitting in a basin of liquid. And if what happens if you take a pot roast and put it in a pot of boiling water and leave it there? Or you take a chicken and put it in a pot of boiling water and leave it there. What happens to that flesh? It begins to cook. So that's what's going on with your body, with your brain, with your cells, with your organs, when your internal body temperature is rising up above 103, 104. And so it's imperative that you do something to bring that temperature down in order to save that person's life. So that thermometer will give you a good gauge of what the person's internal body temperature is. Now, I'll throw this out there for you. Dealing with adults or children, anytime you have a temperature that is over 99.9, you need to be taking something to try and get that temperature down. Now, if you're talking medication-wise, some Advil, ibuprofen, Motrin is the brand name, but the drug ibuprofen.
Audio, Rudolph.
Say again? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought somebody was saying something. I apologize. Okay. Yes. So you want to use some type of intervention there to help the body to deal with that rising internal core temperature and help it to come down in order to save the organs. Well, the ibuprofen is safe to use unless you're allergic to it, and it has a 6 to 8 hour window. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, well, take Tylenol, acetaminophen. That's good to use as well. However, history has shown us that acetaminophen is very toxic on the liver. And so prolonged use of it will cause one to now have to deal with an erosion of your liver. So we try not to use acetaminophen unless we absolutely have to. So when your temperature gets up to around 104 or greater, then we say use the Tylenol or the acetaminophen, because you have to repeat those doses every 4 hours. But that is an emergency way of bringing that temperature down. But if you have the time and can do it gradually, the best practices are to use the ibuprofen. And again, that comes in many forms, whether it's Advil, whether it's Motrin. You just have to read the labels of the medication. But again, the focus here is the thermometer. Now, we have the thermometers that you can put under the tongue. You have some that you can put under the armpit. You have some that can go in the rectally, which will give you the most accurate. But then you also have those that can go in the ear, those that can scan the forehead, So you just want to have some type of device that can help you to know and understand what the internal core temperature of the individual is. Let's move on to the next one. Aspirin. Again, brand name, we know it to be Bayer, but the drug itself or medication is aspirin. Now, if you're allergic to it, then of course you don't want to take it. But why do we need to have aspirin on hand? Well, aspirin does a few things. One, aspirin will help to keep the blood flowing in its liquid form without it clumping up and clotting. Good and bad. But when you need your blood to stay liquid and flow, aspirin will do that. There are some people who are on a regimen of aspirin daily because of that reason. They need to keep their blood in a liquid form without it clumping up and without clots growing in them. And that'll be prescribed to them by their family physician. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, keep aspirin on hand. You want to keep 325 milligram tablets of aspirin on hand. What's next? Alcohol. Now, alcohol comes in many different strengths or concentrations. The most effective has been found to be 70% isopropyl alcohol. Why 70%? 70% alcohol will allow it to do what it needs to do. Now, you can find it 50%, you can find it 80%, you can find it 90%, you can find it 99%, you can find 100% alcohol. The problem with it once you get above 70% is it will not remain on the surface long enough to do the job that you need it to do. If you're using alcohol as a disinfectant, that means that it needs to remain liquid on a surface to promote a kill time of bacteria. Well, alcohol will dry out quickly in the open air. So the more concentrated it is, the faster it's going to dry out. It won't remain there long enough to invade the cell of the germ and actually do its job to kill it. So this is why they say 70% is what you want to use for those purposes. During COVID, we would, they would publicizing using 70% alcohol to spray things down in order to kill surface germs. Because again, that 70%, it will remain wet long enough for the properties of the alcohol to kill the bacteria necessary. So we want to make sure we have alcohol on hand. We also want to make sure that we have adhesive tape. And the reason that we need tape is in order to secure, to bind, or to hold down first aid dressings that we're going to be using on wounds. When you have an open wound, everybody quickly says, get a Band-Aid. Well, Band-Aid is a brand name. What you're actually trying to do is you're trying to put a dressing over a wound. So a dressing goes over a wound, and then a bandage holds a dressing in place. Just some technical talk to get you to actually understand what it is that we take for granted a lot as we loosely use this bastard language of English that we have learned, where words have so many different connotations to it. So, adhesive tape. Next, gauze. You need to have gauze in order to pack wounds, cover wounds, absorb body fluids that are coming through wounds, and the gauze should be sterile, but in the event of an emergency or a survival situation, we can settle for just clean. And then we can use the antibiotics that we know are out here to fight the infection that may arise from it. But the idea is to keep as much of that body fluid and as much of the blood that we have in our body, keep it inside at all times, because we have a limited amount. And once it's gone, it's gone. And as you're losing it, you may not have the ability to generate more quickly enough, and then you will start manifesting really quickly body changes, chemical changes in your body, and mental status changes in your body, because in your blood is where the oxygen and nutrients that fortify every cell in your body, that's where it lies. For the East Coast people, you're riding on the train to get to and from work. Well, the tunnels are your arteries and veins. The train itself, that's the blood. And the riders, the people, well, that's your red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. And it's the train or the blood that takes you from point A to point B. You can't get there without it. So it's just a little visual just to emphasize what we're talking about. If I'm going too fast, just let me know, Brother Jahan. If someone has questions, stop me and just ask the question. Band-aids, used for covering small abrasions, lacerations, punctures, tears, and holes. Again, Band-Aid is a brand name. So you want to make sure you have assorted size bandages throughout the house so you can deal with those minor situations before they turn into major situations. Oh, this is my favorite here. Epsom salt. Epsom salt. Now, Epsom salt, tiny crystallizations of minerals that are found in our bodies. Epsom salt baths are so therapeutic for the individual because when you can get your body up under some water, one, you can rehydrate your cells, you can rehydrate your tissue, you can rehydrate your muscles. And if you're soaking in an Epsom salt bath, those same minerals that are inside of us are now being dissolved in that water. And as you're sitting there, your body is able to absorb it right through the skin to help revitalize the organs, the tissue, the muscle, and the cells and rehydrate them so that they can properly do the jobs that they're designed to do. Epsom salt and hot water work wonders on sore muscles, and anyone who has ever done any kind of physical activity can bear me witness on that. After a hard day at the gym, or a hard day working out, or a hard day working on a job, to get home and be able to get into a hot Epsom salt bath for 20 to 30 minutes, life changing.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
We have a question.
Yes, sir. What's the question?
Never mind. Continue, my brother.
Okay. Yes, sir. The next, baking soda. Now, we've all seen that gold box with the red circle, Arm& Hammer. Yes, sir. Okay. Pure baking soda. Baking soda has many, many medicinal uses, therapeutic uses, as well as other hacks you can use with baking soda. Baking soda can be used as deodorant for the body. Baking soda can be used to brush your teeth. Deodorant for the mouth. Baking soda can be used in your refrigerator to absorb different odors that are in your refrigerator to help preserve foods. Baking soda mixed with another agent can be used to help cleanse the skin. Baking soda by itself has many medicinal properties. Research and study the different uses of baking soda, and you will see exactly why it's on this list. Because once you learn all the things that you can do with that one little box of baking soda, it negates the necessity for having 5 and 6 other chemicals in your home. Remember, again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to survive something. So the less chemicals you have in your home, the less chance you have of poisoning or accidentally or purposefully. Okay, burn ointment. Now, depending on where you live, you may be able to get what's called silver dyed ointment over the counter. Back in the day, they used to sell the powdered form, and you would have to mix it with the liquid agent to make your own. But now they have it already made up for you. And this silver dyed solution or cream works great on topical burns. It helps to cool the burn area. It helps to form a layer of protection between the outside atmosphere and the body to prevent infection. It also helps to aid in the regeneration of the skin tissue that has been eaten away by the bird. Silverdine solution is something that you really need to have on hand if you can find it. Now, of course, there's always the old school remedy. Make sure you have an aloe plant in the house and slice that aloe plant over and take the gel from the inside of the aloe plant and put that on, and that helps with the discoloration as well as the cooling effect and the moisturizing effect in order to keep the skin itself moisturized so that it can promote healing of new tissue. So that's the Silverdine cream. Hot water bottles. When I was growing up, when Brother Harold was growing up, and that was many, 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 many moons ago. Brother Jahar, remember we used to see them red bottles hanging over the bathroom door with that white cord, and we always wondered what that long white cord was for, other than going across our behind sometime. But that hot water bottle, it's the ability to put some hot water in there, and it can be used for different things. On cold nights, make sure that stopper is in there really good, and you can put that in the bed with you, and that can help generate some heat in that bed. You have sore muscles. That hot water bottle is a source of heat for your sore muscles. That water bottle is also a reservoir for a mixture that can be used to irrigate and I'll leave it at that. Irrigate certain body cavities when necessary. And I'll leave that right there. Let your minds flow with that one. But do your research on that hot water bottle. We should always have a hot water bottle. The ice cap. Like the hot water bottle, this one is designed specifically for ice. You unscrew the top, put some ice cubes in it, screw it back in. Now you have a concentrated source of cold that you may need. What would you need that for? It could be for a sprain on the body, whether you sprained your ankle or your wrist or your knee or your elbow. If you had a toothache, you could use it on the skin directly over the toothache to help deaden that nerve, to help prevent swelling. If you had a headache, you could use that ice cap wherever your head is paining you to help bring you some comfort and relief. So the ice cap just uses a cold remedy, where the hot water bottle is used for a warm or hot remedy. Sulfur powder. Sulfur is a drawing agent. Let me say that. Sulfur is designed to draw something out. So you have a wound or something, and you're trying to get something to come out of it. They would take some sulfur powder and mix it with some white petroleum and make a salve or ointment, and they would spread it on there. And if you watch it carefully, you can almost see it drawing something out of that wound. But that's what the sulfur powder is used for. So it's always good to have some dry sulfur powder around. But no, if you have dry sulfur powder, you need to have white petroleum as well in order to mix it. Scripture said there's a balm in Gilead to heal the sin sick soul. Well, the balm, BALM, is a salve. It's an ointment. It's a mixture of something. Scripturally, scripturally speaking, the balm in Gilead for the sin sick soul, okay, is the spiritual realm of this physical connotation here. So I just wanted to throw that out there because the balm is physical and it's spiritual. It's designed again to draw something out that is ill affecting the body as a whole. Let's move on to the next one. Spirits. Spirits. Whatever you like, whatever fragrance you like, it's good to have it around because just the smell of it can help to change your mental state of mind. So if you really, really get stressed out and someone releases the scent of lavender, the scent of peppermint, spearmint, uh, uh, rose, uh, uh, wintergreen into the air and you inhale it, it automatically causes a chemical reaction in your brain that can help alleviate stress, but it can also change the mental composition that you are currently in and take you somewhere where that smell will relate to a happy moment in your life. And it can take you there immediately, helping to de stress you, helping to bring your stress levels down, helping to calm you down so that you can deal with whatever the situation is that you need to deal with. Psychological, yes, but for a physical reality. So they're working hand in hand, they go together. So it's important that you have some type of spirits, essential oils, as they call them now, around your house. Milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia is a compound, a mixture that helps to ease or soothe an upset stomach or a sour stomach. You have milk of magnesia, you have Pepto Bismol, you have things of that nature. Different, again, brand names, but the idea is something to coat your stomach at a time when the acid levels are building in your stomach to prevent them from eating away at the walls of your stomach and causing gastric ulcers because of the overproduction of that acid that's in your stomach. They're designed to uh, digest the food that you eat, but in the absence of food being in there, it's still there. And when it's producing and overproducing, then it turns and it starts to have that same effect on your body organs, and it will start digesting and dissolving your body organ or the inside, the lining of your stomach, and it will cause a medical condition. So, the milk of magnesia, that's what that's for. Kaopectate, Imodium AD, These are compounds or mixtures that help to check diarrhea. You know, when you go to the bathroom and you have, okay, I'm going to use this terminology here. Some may understand what it is and some may not. If you, depending on your age, if you don't understand, ask someone that's older, they'll explain it to you. The Hershey squirts. I'll leave it at that. When you're going to the bathroom more frequently than you choose to, and you can't stop it, well, what's happening is you are slowly changing the electrolyte balance within your body, and your balance or homeostasis is changing, which will manifest itself in physical changes. As you're losing fluids so rapidly and not able to replenish them, it's causing a chemical reaction in your body, and you will start manifesting certain abnormalities. And this can go anywhere from body cramps to your mental status changing because you're losing sodium, you're losing uh, um, magnesium, you're losing potassium, you're losing calcium, you're losing zinc. Every time you go, there are so many minerals and trace elements that you are excreting out of your body, and you're not replenishing them, and it takes a toll on your body systems. So either the kaopectate or the ammonium, it's there to help check diarrhea.
Yes, Brother Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
You have a hand. Brother
Yes, sir.
Quincy Nazir has a question.
Yes, sir.
Brother Quincy.
Any question is an acceptable question. If if you have a question, someone else in that room or someone else on the Zoom has the very same question. They just did not ask it. So if you have a question, go ahead and answer your question, because you're not only putting that out there for your benefit, but it's somebody else's benefit as well. And again, there's no such thing as a stupid question, except the one that is not asked, because it'll be that very instance or that very question that may come back to haunt you later on.
Well, it looks like he's not answered, so you can go ahead on, Brother Rudolph.
All right. For a
Uh,
proper, yes.
question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Now
Oh,
that
yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
you're fine. I had a question from when you mentioned the thermometers. You said there was one that goes under your mouth, under your arm, and the rectal one, and that one you said was more accurate. Which one would you personally recommend to put to use?
Oh, you trying to put me on the spot. Oh, wow. And I like the way you crafted that, to just ease it right in there. That was good. Um, I'll say it this way again. A rectal thermometer is going to be your most accurate temperature because it's going into your rectum and it's going to be able to monitor, evaluate, and calculate internal temperature from the rectal point of view. So that is, even in a hospital setting, a rectal temperature is the most accurate. Now, not a lot of people will allow you to put a thermometer in their rectum. So, as an alternative, you have to have other ways of trying to get that internal core temperature. So, the oral thermometer under the tongue, if you can do it, that's fine. If you can't do the oral under the tongue or the rectal, up under the armpit, the axillary um, temperature, that will work to give you a gauge as well. So now, which one do I wouldn't necessarily say I choose any one over the other. I would just say you need to have something there so that you can monitor internal or core body temperature. So whether it's the one that goes in the ear, whether it's the one that goes under the armpit, in the mouth, in the rectum, or across the forehead, as long as you have something where you can get a good gauge of what body temperature is. I hope I answered that question successfully.
Yes, sir, you did. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum salam.
This is Brother Sabir. Just a follow up to Sister's question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an opinion about the digital thermometers?
Just simply this. Just remember, it's digital. Um, and so that means it's delicate. So it can't take a lot of banging around or bouncing around. So you need to handle it very carefully in its storage and when, just moving it around in order to make sure that the calibration remains constant and what it should be. That's the only thing I would say about that, because just about everything now is digital.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, if you are really old school and you have that old thermometer with the mercury in it, I mean, you really doing good. I could never read those things, you know. But yeah, you just have to be careful with your instruments and your equipment and just keep it in good working order. And again, though the thermometers now, I mean, if you go to, well, I don't know if where you are, but I know here we don't have any more dollar stores. They're $1.49 now. But if you go to any of those discount stores, you can get the thermometers, the oral as well as the rectal, relatively cheap, relatively inexpensive, and you can have backups. You can have a couple of them because you can get them for less than $5. And just make sure you get the sleeves to go over them so that you can use them over and over and over again. All right? Any other questions? Okay. First aid kit. This is personal preference. You can search wherever you want to, but you want to have a well-stocked first aid kit for your home. Now, remember, that one is in order to be able to treat whatever is going to come up in the house. So, again, you have to evaluate how many people live in the household. and what the frequency of you using that first aid kit is. Uh, my suggestion is that every individual should have an individual first aid kit so that they can utilize that to treat themselves for the minor scrapes and illnesses that they're going to occur. And that family first aid kit will be fortified to deal with the larger, more egregious incidents that may happen while you are uh, sequestered in your residence. But a fully stocked first aid kit, um, you should be able to it should have items in it that you should be able to deal with anything that goes on other than surgery. But it should have bandages, it should have gauze, it should have gloves, it should have a pair of scissors in it, it should have tweezers, it should have some um, over-the-counter medications, it should have some ointments, all of those type things should be in there. And again, you can go online and just type Google fully stocked first aid kit, and you're going to get a plethora of them. You have to go with what your pockets say you can go with. Okay. Now let's talk about some tools. 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 A simple axe. An axe may be necessary because you may have to chop some wood so that you could burn some wood in the house to keep the family warm. You may have a wood burning stove. You may have to chop some wood in order to cook on. An axe. It may be that is definitely a necessary tool to have, and it should be sharp. And you can get stones to and learn how to sharpen and keep that blade sharp to do what needs to be done. You will need a shovel or a spade, something to dig with, because you may have to bury your family's elimination or waste, and you want to bury it away from the house. The first casualty in a disaster is always hygiene. You want to make sure that your hygiene stays up and stays intact, because once hygiene goes, health follows.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Rudolph.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're getting close to that time, and it's we had said 5, tentatively no later than 5. Now,
Yes, sir. Well, let me speed this up a little. We just have a few more.
okay, I wanted to just say that I know. See,
Oh,
Brother,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Harold is on the side, and Brother
Yep.
Carl here wanted to present.
And Sister Verna is there also to talk about the go bags. So
Okay.
let me just say,
No, what
let me,
do is this. This is what we would like
yes,
to do. If we can continue next Saturday, let them bring their Brother Harold, Sister, and Brother Kyle. Or if we go to 5:30, because of the weather here, we don't want
right.
leave us out no longer than 5:30. We want to shut it at 5. So if they can present between now and 5:30, or would it be all right? We do this next Saturday, same time. If they're not going to get it in, but we're at that time area, and based on the conditions that we're under right now, we don't want to go too far.
Oh, yes, sir. I agree with you, brother. I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
So if
All
you,
right.
all right, if you're taking it to about 5, and then Brother Harold and Brother and Sister and Brother, if they could do that in a half hour, or if not, we can come back next week. And I know it's more that you would like to present on top of what presenting now.
I'm going to say 3 more things on this, and then I'm going to shut up and let somebody else go.
Okay, all right, so
All right?
yes, sir.
Antiseptic, disinfectant, antibiotics. 3 different ways of killing bacteria to keep your place clean. Okay? So you need to have something as an antiseptic to keep germs down, disinfectant to kill germs, and antibiotics kill germs and bacteria internally, inside your body. So you have to keep your area clean and your body clean. You have to have something to cook on or something to cook with, whether it's a Coleman stove, whether it's a hibachi, whether it's a propane stove, whatever kind of a sternal stove, whatever it is, you have to have a way to try and heat up your food so that you can get a hot meal, boil some water. But remember, you also have to have a fuel source, and you have to have adequate supply of whatever that fuel is, and that fuel source has to be stored in a safe way as not to cause damage to your family where it is. A regular barbecue grill is fine, and just have you some charcoal, some lighter fluid, and a way to start the barbecue grill. Charcoal is a great thing to have because you can pulverize the charcoal and make a gas mask
That's
for
right.
you and everyone in your family that can help you in times of a release of gas. That pulverized charcoal with sheets of cotton, once the cotton is moistened, you pulverize the charcoal and you cover both sides of it, and then you put it inside of a material, and that can be a makeshift gas mask, again, to help you be able to breathe when there are fumes or bad gases that are around. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna say all praises due to Allah, who appeared to us in the person of Mustafa and Muhammad, and all praises due to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for bringing us this information, and thanks to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for putting it back on our mind and on our radar that this is a very essential topic that we need to talk about and we need to master at this day and time because this is where we live at. So, brother Jahad, I'm going to stop there. And yeah, I heard what you said. And yes, if we could if we can come back next week, I can do the first aid piece next week where we will have the proper amount of time to really deal with it because I know brother is there and he's there to demonstrate to the believers how to use the tourniquet, when to use the tourniquet, and why you're using the tourniquet. And that will take some time to explain. Thank you, Brother John.
Well, we thank you, my brother. Thank you for all that valuable information. Uh, so, let me see. So this is what we want to do, family. Like I said to brother, we had said 5 o'clock, tentatively 5:30, but because of weather conditions, we don't want to keep the believers out too long because we don't know how things will change. So if it's all right with you, Brother Harold, Brother Kill, and Sister Karima, Brother Kyle, if
I'm losing your audio, Brother John. I can't hear you.
if next Saturday, same time, 3 o'clock, you too, Brother Rudolph, but we would start with you, Brother Harold, and Brother Kyle, and Sister Karina. If that's all right with y'all, how do you feel about that? Brother Harold?
Sound like Brother John, I can't hear you. The audio is going in and out.
Yo,
Harold, check your text messages. I'm sending you a text right now.
My connection to you, I have a strong signal on my end, but it's showing a low network bandwidth on your end.
Well, Brother Rudolph,
Yes.
could you explain to Brother Howard what we was just said? If it's all right with him and Sister Karima, Brother Kyle here, he said it's all right with him for next week. So if it's all right with you, Brother Harold and Sister Karima.
Harold, read your text message. You see your message? Harold, you got your message?
An unstable network on your end, but I can't hear you, and the chat is not showing. Rude, call me on my phone. Yeah. No, I can't see it because it's still trying to buffer. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it on the Tuesday now. So yeah, I'll wait till next week. Okay, cool. Got it. All right. That's fine.
Brother Rudolph. Brother Rudolph.
I can wait till next week, Brother John.
All right. Well, thank you, brother. And we appreciate your efforts and wanting to be on. So we just don't want to go beyond our point at this time based on this weather. So that's based on what it is. So next Sunday, inshallah, next Saturday, thank you, Brother Guy. Next Saturday, inshallah, 3 o'clock, same time, and we'll have you and Sister Karima and Brother Kyle, who will present, and Rudolph will continue with part 2. So if there's nothing else to say, we thank each and every one of y'all for your presentation, and for those that wanted to present but didn't because of the time. But inshallah, next week, we hope to see everyone back again. Thank you all. Yeah. All right, we're going to, at this time, we'll ask everyone to stand for prayer.
Attention to prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of judgment. Thee do we pray, thine aid do we seek. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those whom thou hast bestowed thy favor, not of those whom thine wrath is brought down, nor of those whom have gone astray. Ameen. Takbir.
Is yours not muted?